Okay, I'm recording, and this is going to be our first introduction to flats. Let me first take a second and just check in with everybody. I found the book I wanted to show you guys. This book is fantastic. If you only purchase one book, none of them are required, but if you only purchase one, this book is the one I recommend. She is fabulous. I love this book. We're actually going to do some exercises out of here as we draw the proportions of the figure, because I like the way she explains it better than any other textbook I've found. And I swear to you guys, I've looked at them all. But what I also love about this book is it's really comprehensive. She talks about all different types of fashion, and she gives examples not just of her own work but of other illustrators. So you see a lot of different styles of drawing, and she explains them beautifully. I cannot say enough about this book. Every time I open it up, I see something new. This book is just packed with helpful information, exercises, things to practice, things to think about, inspiration. Did I already say that? I mean, I just love it. I absolutely love it. Now, regarding flats, we are going to talk about flats today. And it's hard to find information out there about flats, at least done in the way that we like to see it in industry. I don't know why that is. I feel like it's just the kind of thing that you tend to learn on the job. So the information is just kind of not out there and about. I want to warn you guys, if you go Googling around for flats, you're going to see things like this that really are not quite what we're looking for. So just be careful if you go looking for flats, but have faith that I'm going to take you through step by step how to do fashion flats in a way that's going to set you up really well, I think, for whatever career you have in the fashion industry. Okay, so that's the book I love. I'll put that away, and let's talk about the first assignment that we're going to do for flats. We've got basically, I guess we kind of think of it as three different assignments today. Let me pause for a minute. Let's talk about flats. This is a pattern card. Okay, so this is the paper that goes with the pattern to the factory, and this is usually done as a part of a bigger packet called a tech pack or a technical packet. And that tech pack has all the information necessary to make the garment in a range of sizes. Everything from what is the length of the shoulder seam at a medium, at a small, at a large, and what tolerances do we allow, and or when does it need to be redone if they're incorrect. Like, tech packs are super important. Tech packs are the job of a technical designer, which is a very common first job in the industry. And if you're going to be a technical designer or anybody working in production or pretty much any entry-level job, you need to know how to do flats, because the flats go both on the pattern card and in the tech pack. So the flats are these technical drawings showing all the details of a garment. And here's a pattern card which also lists the pattern pieces. This is just a photocopy. These are real swatches on the actual one. So in order to learn to do this, we need to get some practice drawing really nice smooth lines and stitching and all kinds of good stuff. You guys saw when I showed you the examples of the student projects how nice and fine the stitch work was. So we're going to practice that today. What we're going to do here, let's see which one I'm going to do. I'll use this as an example. Okay, this is a previous one that I've done. It's not quite finished, but we're gonna work on it today. So in order to get started, what I'd like you guys to do is take a piece of marker paper. Now, your marker paper is big. I also bought some small ones just to make it easy for me to do demos. If you need more small marker paper, these are kind of nice to have. I like the Canson brand 9x12 marker paper, and it's not too expensive. So here we go. I'm going to take a fresh piece of marker paper. I am going to use my ruler, and I'm going to rule out a box. Let me give you some dimensions here. We're going to go 6 by 6. Okay, so we're going to go 6 by 6. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Go ahead and watch along so that I would actually watch this rather than working along with me so that you don't accidentally do it wrong, because we want to get the measurements right. Okay, so we're going to go 6 by 6. I'm placing my ruler up near the top of my paper, and I'm going to go from the corner of the ruler out to number 6. Okay. From there, I'm going to go down. Okay, now this is important, guys. What I'm about to show you is just another one of these little tricks that allows me to get better with pattern making. I need to square down. The beauty of these grid rulers is that if I place my pencil line under the dark line on the ruler and make sure that it's not tipping over, okay? Make it straight. You should be able to square down really nicely, and being able to square is important in pattern making. So we're going to try to get a little practice of that here. I started at 6, so I'll go to 12, because 6 plus 6 is 12. Let me do that on the other side. Square myself up carefully, draw my line going down, ending at 12. Oopsie, a little messy. And then let me check myself and see if what I ended up with down here is still 6 inches. Pretty close, pretty close, pretty close. I'll take it. Okay, next thing we want to do is I'm going to go ahead and separate this into rectangles. Each rectangle is 1 inch tall. So we'll go ahead and place my ruler and draw my line. Okay, now notice how I'm doing this, everybody. I'm not going along the side and marking and on both sides connecting the dots. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking the ruler and saying, okay, inch, 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 inch. It's too slow. I want to give you guys skills that will benefit you in pattern making. If we're drawing a series of parallel lines, this is how we do it. We slide the ruler down, and then we draw the line below. We did this also in yesterday's exercise. Now, one caveat here, okay, one little warning. The thickness of your pencil can add to the height of your box. So just a little trick. This might be TMI, a little bit too much information, but if you slide your ruler down and then scooch it back ever so slightly, I scooted it up the thickness of my pencil lead. What that means is I'm now drawing a line exactly 1 inch away. Okay, I don't know if that made sense or not, but I throw that in there just in case it's beneficial to anybody taking pattern making in the future. Okay, so we'll slide our ruler down, scooch it back ever so slightly so that we accommodate the thickness of the pencil lead, and now we've got our starting point, which is a 6 by 6 box separated into 1 by 6 rectangles. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to actually draw over these lines with my thick pen. Okay, here's your pens. Ready? 05. I have other ones in here. I don't know why I have so many. That's another 05. Where's my 02? There's my 02. And then my 005, my delicate little baby pen. These pens are my favorite, and artists use these a lot, and we're going to use them for our flats. The 05 is your thick one. If you draw, oh, that one's kind of dead. Hold on. Good thing I have a backup. Okay, so here's a nice thick line. That's what we love, okay? So this is my 05. My 02 is slightly thinner. You see the difference? And then here's my 005. This delicate little fine point pen makes the thinnest line possible. Be very careful with this pen. It's very delicate. If you press too hard, or if you're holding it a little bit kind of like sideways and press on it, you'll bend the tip and it won't make a fine line anymore. Try to hold it slightly upright. Try not to press too hard with it, and you'll get a really beautiful line with this pen. Okay, we're going to start by outlining our box with our 05. So you can just take your ruler and you can work your way around and just neaten up those lines. There we go. Okay, lift your ruler carefully so you don't smear the ink. It dries pretty quickly though on marker paper. Now I don't think I mentioned this. Marker paper is designed to handle ink. It's a fantastic surface for ink. And we're going to use it when we use our colored markers. So it's really good for these pens as well. So I'm just going to go ahead, draw all these lines. Thank you for your patience as I'm doing this. And I'll get this started, and then we're going to talk about what to do next. So I was thinking, I hope everybody's doing okay out there. I was thinking how strange it is for me to not know what you guys are up to. It's kind of killing me a little bit because I'm used to being in the classroom and in a way sort of in your business. Hopefully not in a bad way, but you know, I like to know what people are doing. I like to see what you're doing, and I'm not able to do that in this class. So it feels a little bit one directional because you guys see and hear me each day. But I will start to get to see your homeworks that you're submitting, so that'll be nice. so I can kind of see what everybody's up to and give you feedback that way. But do reach out to me if you feel like you want to, or if you have questions, or if you just want to give me feedback, since again, I've never taught this class this way. And if you think of things that could make it better, please let me know. If you notice things are a little bit awkward in terms of the video formats or whatever, let me know that too. Because a lot of the technology I'm sorting through as we go here in terms of how I'm saving my files and whatnot. Okay, let's go ahead, and now that I've inked it, I'm going to mark my, my measurements for my stitch lines. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to rewrite it over here. I'm going to break this first rectangle up into a 1/4 row, a 3/8 row, another 1/4, and then a 1/8. Okay. The next one is 1/2, then 1/8. Oops, hold on, let me make that neater. Next one is 3/8. Okay. Next one is not too hard. It's 3/4 and then 1/4. The last one is 3/8. Or I'm sorry, the next one is 3/8, 1/8, 1/4, 1/4, 3/8, 1/8, 1/8, 3/8. I'm just copying from my previous demo. 1/4, 1/4, 3/8, and 1/8. Okay, guys. When you turn in this assignment, I'm going to need you to put your ruler next to this so that we can see how all your lines shake out. I designed this exercise to help us practice stitching, use our pens, use the ruler, but it's also a way to get us using these fractions. So the first one is 1/4, so I'm going to slide my ruler from here at the very top. I'm going to slide my ruler down 1/4, and I'm going to draw my first line. Remember to scooch your ruler ever so slightly to accommodate the thickness of your pencil. The next one is 3/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. It's 3 little boxes on the ruler. And I'll go ahead and draw my next line. Next I have 1/4. 1/4 is just 1 little box on the ruler. Oh no, I'm sorry, 2 little boxes on the ruler. There we go. That should give me 1/4. And then what I'm left with is 1/8. 1/8 is 1 little box on the ruler. Okay, so if everything shakes out there, you're doing okay. And if your math isn't working out, then it's time to go to tutoring. Okay, the next one is 1/2. So 1/2 inch, I'll slide it right down. It's 4 of the little boxes on the ruler. And then this next part is 3/8 and then, oh sorry, 1/8 and then 3/8. 1/8, and then I should be left with 3/8, which I am. 3/8 is 3 little boxes on the ruler. Okay, so 1/2, 1/8, 3/8. Next up is 3/4, and we'll be left with 1/4. There we go. Next up is 3/8, 1/8, 1/4, 1/4. So we'll go 3/8, 3 little boxes. Again, I'm starting here. 1, 2, 3 little boxes. Scooch to accommodate my pencil. And there's my line. Let's go down 1/8. And then we should have 1/4 and 1/4 left over. There we go. Okay, and then the rest of these, I will just, what I'm going to do is let me just put this one up on the screen so you don't have to watch me drawing all those lines. You can just see it here. Hang on, let me move that so it's easier for you to see. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we've gone ahead and drawn lightly with pencil all of our lines according to the measurements we just said. Once you've got all of those pencil lines in there, we're going to practice making stitching. Okay, so I'm going to actually lighten up my lines because I drew a little darker than maybe I needed to. Let me just blot it up with my gummy eraser. Just lighten my pencil lines. Okay. Oh, right, that's a little better. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do some stitching. I feel like I want to pause this video. Let me pause. Okay, I'm back. I paused because I wanted to get some actual flats. We will be doing most of these garments or very similar garments, but you can see the scale. Like here's my fingers, here's my pen, and you can see how tiny the stitching is on some of these garments. It absolutely has to be as fine and neat and precise as possible in order to fit all that detail onto your garments. This is super important, guys. So we're going to practice getting nice tiny stitches right now. With your 005 pen, we're going to go ahead and draw stitches on each of the pencil lines. Again, erase those more if you need to so that your ink work will really show. Okay? But the pencil lines are there as a guide. Here we go. I'm going to show you how I do it. And I have to really focus as I do this. Okay, so I have to be really focused as I do this. You'll notice that my hand is going away from me like this. This is the direction I'm comfortable moving my hand when I do stitching like this. It's really the only way I can go, but everybody's different. So you should try with each of these different lines. Go that way, try pulling this way, turn the paper, see if that feels better to you. But what we need to do here, and the reason we're doing this, is so that we can figure out what works best so that when it's time to put stitches on our garments, we're able to do it. Try to get into a little rhythm with it. They need to be very tiny. I'm going to zoom in even closer so you can see here how small I'm making them. Here's my mechanical pencil. This is an 03 mechanical pencil. Okay, so we really want them to be tiny. A couple things to be careful of. We don't want it to look like dots. They need to look like dashes. And technically, those dashes have a little less space in between them than the length of each dash. Be careful also not to make little flicks. What we don't want to be doing is flicking, 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 so that it's thicker on one end than the other. Does that make sense? We want to be doing actual little solid dashes as best we can. Now, some people are going to really enjoy this. I personally, if I'm in the mood for it, I really enjoy doing this. I find it very soothing and satisfying. And then other people are probably not going to enjoy this as much. When you guys learn to do flats this way on paper, I think it's great, and I have sent things to production with hand-drawn flats before, but I would say the majority, probably 80% of flats, if not more, is actually done in Adobe Illustrator. So once you guys know how to do the flats, learning the software for Illustrator is going to be really easy for you to then apply what you're learning in this class and do it in Illustrator. When we make stitching in Illustrator, it's 2 pixels for the dash and 1 pixel in between, if that gives you a sense of the spacing. Okay, so what I'd like everybody to do is stitch on each line. Okay, I didn't quite finish this one, but we're going to go ahead and stitch on each line. What I'm looking for when I grade this is as perfect as you can get it, guys. Consistent, tight, small, even stitches on every single line. And I'm also looking for you to have the correct measurements along the side. Again, you'll need a ruler placed next to it. We're learning fractions here as well because that's going to help you in the future. Okay, I think that's it. I'll just give you a couple more tips on this. This is going to take you an hour at least. Okay, if you're doing it faster than an hour, you might be rushing, and it is truly valuable to spend that hour getting these stitches practiced. If they're not perfect, I mean, do your best, but in the classroom, we certainly spend an hour, possibly more, and what happens is I end up walking around the classroom with my examples, and I put mine next to students so that they can see how mine look compared to theirs, because very frequently students are doing their stitches too long. Remember, these have to fit on those tiny little flat drawings, so they've got to be as small as possible. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, and I will see you in the next video.